Okay. All right. Good morning. Grab your ball for me, please. Let's take that, bring it below your knees, but above your ankles. So that as you squeeze the ball, you will feel some sensation on your inner thighs and your quadriceps. It brings your ankles underneath your knees, which are underneath your hip bones. So you don't want to be out here where you would drop that ball. You want to be squeezed in enough that you find a parallel position. Abs in, tailbone back and down, and yes, we're going to breathe. We're going to inhale and squeeze up. We're going to exhale, squeeze back, and drop down. We're going to do that a couple times with a sigh. And then this time, we're going to inhale through the nose, squeeze up, and we're going to exhale through the nose. One more. Beautiful. Shoulders out of your ears. We're going to tip over to one side and then the other. And then we're going to bring that chin to the chest. Gently bring some fingertips here. Relax. Give yourself a little pressure, but don't push down hard. And then tuck your chin, lift up, and I want you to go to the other way. Open that chest. You can lean back. You can squeeze on that ball. And then come back. Nod your head yes. Tuck your chin. Pull your ribs in. Abs in. And we're going to come up on our tippy toes and down. So we're going to come up. We're going to hold for a split second and gently down. We're going to try when we come to the top to hold for a split second. And we're going to try when we come down not to plunk down, right? Just gently lifting and tapping, lifting and tapping, lifting and tapping. Good. A few more here. Last two. Hold up at the top. Pull your abs and your ribs in. Think about tucking the tailbone, holding, holding, holding. 4, 3, 2, gently bring it down. Bring that ball out from under you for just 1 second. Lunge forward with your right leg, back with your left leg. Bend into that right knee. Press that left heel down. Feel a nice stretch on your calf. Bend the knee a little bit. Roll up. Turn the toe out. As you do that and the heel comes in, rotate the hip forward too and lunge. And bend, and then we'll turn that toe in and the heel out as we lunge into it, press the heel down and bend the knee. And then step forward with your left leg, back with your right, lunge into that left leg, press that heel down, bend that back knee a little bit, roll up, rotate the toe out and the heel in, make sure the hip is still forward, lunge, and bend, and then roll up, toe in, heel out, press, bend, and lift it up. Now we're going to bring that ball in between our thighs, and we want to find that same parallel position, squeezing in on the ball, ankles underneath your knees, which are directly underneath your hips. Shoulders back and down. We're going to lift up just enough that we feel like we're about to lose the ball, and then we're going to squeeze in. So that left leg lifts and squeezes. You can do this goofy movement with your arms if you want, or you don't have to. I was trying to emulate what my legs are doing. You can hold them here. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, chicken arms. Couple more times. Beautiful. Squeeze, 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 and then shift that weight and lift that right leg. And again, you're going to squeeze in, open and close with the leg. I'm going to do it with the arms because I did it a few times on the other side. What the heck? You can keep them here in balanced position, totally up to you. But just don't forget at the end, you want a really good squeeze. Abs in. Good. Keep it going. A few more here. And relax. All right. This time, we're going to lift that leg up And we're gonna, no, we're not, sorry. We're gonna bring that left leg in front, sorry. It's in front of the right leg and behind the left. We're gonna bend the right knee, slide forward and come up. We're gonna reach and tap, reach and tap. So you're bending into that right leg. Feel that in your quad, feel that in your glute. Tap and reach, tap and reach, tap and reach. A few more. Good. Put your left foot on the ground. Listen carefully. Shift your weight onto that left foot. Point your right toes. Reach behind you with your right toes and stand up. Reach and up. Reach and up. So this time your left quad and your left glute should be getting the work, but because we're stepping backwards with the right leg. Two more. Beautiful. Now we have to switch things around. So now that ball is in front of your left leg and behind the right, and we reach and tap with those right toes coming forward, that left knee bending. You can do whatever you want with your arms, right? You can have them out here, you could be moving with them. You can hold them out here and do little circles, although that's hard to do. It's like pat your head and rub your tummy. Totally up to you guys. Just four more. Well done. Step forward with that right leg. Reach with those left toes. Stretch and come forward. Reach and up. Reach and up. Stretch and reach. Stretch and reach. Just two more. And relax. Hold that ball in your hands. Take your right leg over your left. Let's spin up and over to the right. Press the hip, or excuse me, we're going to the left. The hip goes to the right. And then come back up, uncross. Left over right. And then we push the hips to the left, arms to the right. And then come on back through center. Abs in. We're going to bring that ball behind our, or excuse me, between our thighs again, and come to the end of your mat. Come down in a little cozy cat-cow. As always, if you find sticky spots in your spine, try and take a little extra time as you round or as you extend through that area. Two more. Good. Last one. Keep that ball where it is. You're going to need to walk your hands forward and you're in that beautiful high plank position. That ball between your thighs should give you that good awareness of our quads being lifted during a plank, even if it's a high plank, right? So we're just going to hold this for a few moments. Shoulders out of your ears, head in line with your spine, so nod yes. Pull the abs in, pull the ribs in, give those glutes a little tuck. Press through those heels, keep squeezing the ball, lots of awareness of those inner thighs. And then knees are going to come down. We're going to take that ball, let it sit back a little bit as we sit back, hips on heels. And then we'll come forward. You can leave that ball back there if it'll stay. Little cat-cow here. Beautiful. Then all we're going to do is move that ball onto the ground so we can sit right up against it. So it comes up against our sacrum or your tailbone area. Imagine that it's back between those knees. So rather than being flared open, you want your ankles, your knees, and your hip bones lined up again. And then just hold on to your legs and hinge back where that ball is supporting you. So don't go way back here, just to where the ball supports you, and then let go. And again, because that ball is supporting you, you should feel that you're able to kind of maybe not relax in this position, but use those abs, but maybe not feel it as much in your low back this time. And then test it out. See if you can bring your arms out into a T position. Roll your shoulders out of your ears. Let's give that a squeeze, using those posture muscles to pull back and squeeze. One more time, squeeze it, lower your hands, come up, hold for a moment, exhale, gently hinge back again. This time, see if you can bring your arms into a V. Imagine you're holding on to something like a lat pull. Pull down and squeeze back, come up, pull down and squeeze back, and up into that V, down and back. Look at your knees, make sure they haven't flopped open. A few more here. And then we'll come up again. And then we're going to exhale right back. This is we're going to see if we can bring our arms overhead, bring them together, fingers touch, not out in front though, overhead. And then pull back and down and squeeze up and in. Back and down and up and in. Head in line with your spine. Back of the neck is long. And lastly, we're going to sit all the way up on that ball. We're going to keep our knees bent for now, and we're going to allow that ball not to be rolling in front of us, but a little bit behind us. Grab your knees, bring it forward, so as if you're doing spine stretch, but then we're actually going to get a rounded stretch. You can let your head drop, let the back of your body get a nice stretch. Start to straighten out those legs if that's okay with you. And then slide it up, and you should be sitting nice and tall on that ball. So let's bring those legs apart. Here's your first balance challenge. On that ball, try and be erect. And again, you don't want to see the ball in front of you. You're a little bit pitched forward so that your tailbone tips up. Arms out to the side. Take the hand that's closest to me and rotate towards your screen. Take that arm, reach further back. Take the front arm that's now between the legs and rotate towards the front leg. Bring it down and then reach behind you. Use that hand if you want against your shin or wherever to push you deeper into this twist, and then pull yourself forward so it's a sol. Inhale up, you're going to rotate the opposite direction. Reach forward, reach back with your back arm, bring yourself forward and rotate. And up we go on the inhale. Exhale, twist, reach and down, and inhale up. We twist, we reach, and lift. We're just going to keep that going. With the breath, so you inhale tall and you exhale to twist. Last time, make sure you go each way, and then reformat yourself up on the ball with your feet together. Once again, knees can be bent if you have tight hamstrings, straight if you're okay with that. Big toes are touching. Now you'll have a slightly bigger balance challenge, because as we go into the seated twist, there's a little more movement up top. So we rotate toward the screen once, twice, 3 times. Inhale back to center. Check that your big toes are still touching. Go to the back. Twist, twist, twist. Inhale, center to the front. And center to the back. And center, keep going. Center. Again. If you want to, this time bend the elbow and push back, push back, push back, center, press, 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 center, center last time. Beautiful. Relax. All you're going to do is start rolling down, rolling on that ball. If you're able, you're just going to let that ball give you a massage. So I'm going to roll forward and back a couple times on the ball. You can support your head as you do this. Just trying to give yourself a nice little massage of the spine. Keep it going. It helps if your ball isn't nearly deflated. And then eventually I want you to end up with that ball between your shoulder blades. Fingertips are going to support your head and elbows are on the ground. Unless you have a really big ball, that should be a reasonable thing to do. As always, your ribs are probably lifted up in this position. I'm okay with that. We're going to start with an even more supported head position. So normally I don't like you to grasp your fingertips, but you're going to do that and let your head really drop into your hands, elbows wide, and maybe let your head drop back. Get that expansiveness across your chest. Not so much that your muscles start shaking, but enough that you feel it gently. Then on the exhale, I want you to really push the ribs into the ground to lift your head up. So we're going to inhale, go up and over, tap the elbows down, exhale, push those ribs down to lift up. Inhale, up and over. If you are inclined to get vertigo, you're just going to go halfway back and then press the ribs. But I really want you to use an exhalation, forcefully press the ribs down. Bring your hands up, look at where your fingertips are, and switch them by one finger so you have a different grip, the opposite grip, the awkward grip we call it. And again, we go up and over, elbows touch down, and we exhale to close. Inhale, up and over, and we exhale to close, just a couple more like this. Beautiful. And then we're just going to roll a little bit side to side, and then pivot off that ball. Once again, we're going to bring it between our knees just to give us some awareness of those inner thighs. Take your fingertips, put them on your low abs, and as you squeeze that ball, hopefully you feel a little tightening across there. Inhale, release the squeeze, exhale, squeeze again. Inhale, release the squeeze, exhale, squeeze again. One more time, inhale, release, exhale, squeeze the ball, bring those knees in, still hugging that ball, give it a squeeze. Take a couple circles in one direction and then the other, and then stack your knees tabletop. Head, neck, and shoulders going to stay down. We're actually starting with toe touches this morning. So you're squeezing that ball. You inhale, open up the angle at your thighs. Don't let this happen, right? So you keep your ribs pulled down, toes forward, and then right back up again. Try and stack those knees over your hips. Inhale as the knees move away. Exhale, bring them up. You can flex through the heels if that works better for you. If you wanted to, you could play with where the ball is. You could bring it down to your ankles so you feel it slightly differently when you squeeze. You may feel it longer down your inner thighs, or more of your inner thighs. I don't know. All right, bring it up because we have a second version of toe touch. You probably know it's coming. Once again, that unstable environment. So we're going to bring that ball underneath our tailbone, right? So we center it. It's not way up under here, under your low back. It's down at your sacrum and your tailbone. Hands are on the ground. We're going to hug those knees in and then find tabletop. It won't be way out here, right? Because that would pop my ribs up. Take your fingers, push the ribs down. So now with my elbows off the ground, I should feel a little bit unstable. You are welcome to simply stay here and hold this, or maybe put your hands back down, try a single leg toe touch, or lift your hands up, try the toe touch, or hands up or down, both legs at the same time. At some point, you want to make sure that you're not allowing that low back to pop up. So the ball gives us an unstable surface, but it also gives us a nice pelvic tilt. Couple more here. Then we're going to bridge up by putting the feet down and lifting right up. Speaking of bridge, let's go here. So you're going to put that ball between your knees. We're going to start very nicely. We want to line everything up so ankles, knees, and hips in the same plane. Lift it up, go a little higher, find that beautiful bridge. Couple options here. You can simply hold this bridge. You could tap and lift, or you could straighten your left leg and tap and lift. And then you want to do the same thing. Extend that right leg, squeeze the ball between your two knees, lower and lift. Hands can be up or they can be reaching on the ground. Now, we actually have two more versions of bridge, so we're going to go ahead and do them now. If you don't like the next two, go back to what we just did. If you want to try a little bit of instability, put both feet on the ball. Knees are going to want to gap open, so you have to be really conscientious to leave those knees together, and then you bridge up. So again, option to hover your hands. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you want to tap and lift with this unstable environment. And relax. Here comes the fun part, as if that wasn't. Roll the ball underneath the left foot. Lift your hips up in the air. See how that is for you. If that's enough, hover your hands, maybe roll the ball forward, back, or tap lift. But if you're ready for kind of a big jump, put your hands back down, lift that leg tabletop, or you could extend it up in the air, either one. And then from there, you lower and lift those hips. So this time that left glute and hamstring should really feel that. And relax. Go ahead, roll that over underneath your right foot. Left foot is on the ground. Press it up. You're welcome to stay there, roll in and out or lift up and down. If you want the bigger challenge, here you go. Left leg up. Make sure you're muted, by the way. I hear something. It could be here, but I don't know. All right. Take that ball behind your right knee. Sort of calf and hamstring. Grab it, pull that in, stretch out that left leg a little bit to the left, right knee a little bit to the right. We're going to rotate and go the other way for me, please. And then come on back through center. Flex through those right toes. Maybe get some circles going at the ankle. And then let's go ahead, roll that ball up, lift yourself up with it, point your toes, heel, bring it back down. And then bend and relax. Right leg to the side. I didn't mean to scare someone away. Pull that left knee in, and we're compressing that ball between the calf and the hamstring. A little bit of movement through the foot. Back through center, we're going to roll it up, point the toes, flex the heel, bring it with you. And stretch that out. Reach those arms overhead long, stretch for the spine. All right, so now we're going to come back to the option to do toe touches, but most of us are going to try first a leg circle, and then after that, double leg lower. So the ball is going to rest maybe right on your ribs, so you have to keep them down. Or you could put it at your belly button and create a valley there, right? As you do that, bend your left knee, keep those ribs sinking down, right toes up in the air. Start some nice circles. Inhale to start your circle, exhale to finish. So again, if you have this down at your abs, you just don't want it, it doesn't get to lean, like I can't keep the ball squeezed between my hip flexor. That would be very tricky. But if it's down there, it gives you the idea of how it should feel during your leg circles, that those hips are staying really quiet and stable. Then we're going to bend that right knee, left leg up in the air, same thing, circles. You might start small and get bigger, inhaling to start your circle, exhaling to finish it. Make sure you're going both ways. Then we're going to come back to center, and that right leg is going to join the left one. Now you have the option to leave the ball where it is or move it up to your ribs. And now we're going to move those legs forward and back. If that's too much on your hamstrings, by the way, go back to a bent knee position and do your toe touches. And then lastly, we're going to turn that into both legs circling. And don't forget to go opposite direction. So you inhale to start your circle, you exhale to finish it. Now, challenge yourself. How far can your legs go to one side without you dropping the ball? What that means is, even though your hips might be going to the side, your ribs are still facing the ceiling, right? Couple more like that. And lastly, hug it in, take a quick break here. Put your left foot on the ground, take that ball between your right thigh and your hip and give it a squeeze. And then put the right foot down, same thing left side. So I'm squeezing that ball between my thigh and my belly button or my ribs. And then as you move that leg away, roll the ball up so it's midway up your left thigh, please. Then legs in left leg in tabletop, and I'm going to press. You know, this is coming. I'm pushing my knee in, and I'm pressing my hands against the ball. My thighs coming forward, my hands are pressing away, so I'm flattening the ball. Then I can add that right leg extended. I can lift the head if I want, reaching through a single leg stretch, holding here, abs in, and then right foot down, left foot down, right foot stacks tabletop, same thing. I'm going to push against that thigh. I'm going to use my triceps to press against the ball. I'm using my hip flexor the other way. If you want, you can lift the head, neck, and shoulders, stretch through those left toes, abs in, back of the neck is long. Then both legs stack, and we turn that into single leg stretch with a press. So you inhale to switch, and you exhale to reach. And we relax completely. Take a little rock side to side. Let's bring that ball all the way down to the ankles. Hold onto it, roll your elbows wide, shoulders out, nose near your knees, exhaling, rolling like a ball. Good, this time come up, sit nice and tall. We're going to bring that ball back between the knees again, and we'll line up those ankles, those knees, and those hip bones, shoulders back and down. Pull those abs in, head in line with your spine, hinge back just a little bit, not as far as you went for the first roll down. You want to really squeeze that ball because we're going to rotate side to side. But this time, because we have that ball there, we can't pivot our knees, or hopefully we can't. So we're going to check every time we come back to center and make sure that we're still squeezing that ball, but our knees aren't doing that or that. Just a few more here, please. And relax. All right, we're going to get a really nice hip flexor stretch, but it just takes a moment to kind of pay attention and get this right. So we're going to come over onto our hands and knees and then lie down on your abs. I want you to take the ball on the very front of your right thigh, right? So it's not at your knee, it's not way up at the hip, it's right down the middle. Then roll over onto it, okay? Now your left hip is probably on the ground. After you bend your right knee for me, I want you to square your hips up so that both hips are in the air. So I have to push the right hip down towards the ground. So I'm not sticking my booty up, I'm tucking it under. Then reach for that right ankle, but make sure you didn't roll over onto your left hip. So left hip is in the air, the same plane basically as the right. Push down with the right hip flexor, tuck the hips under. This should be a delicious stretch. If you can't reach your ankle, grab hold of your pant leg or whatever and hug here. Roll off of that, straighten both legs, take a moment. Now, my right side feels like it's right up against the ground, whereas my left side is about that far off the ground, because I managed to stretch out that right hip flexor. So let's do the same on the left side. So you want to put that ball in the middle of your left thigh, roll onto it, bend your left knee, and then again, my right hip is down on the ground, so I want to move it up until it's even with my left hip. So I have about 3 fingers width under both. And then I'm going to grab that left ankle, or I'm going to grab the pant leg, whatever, but you don't want your knees to come apart and you don't want to roll onto your right hip. So keep the right hip lifted, tuck both hips under, push down into the ground. And again, if it feels too intense, just grab a pant leg instead. Then we're going to roll off that ball completely and let both legs relax. Hopefully we feel that beautiful stretch. We're going to bring that ball out in front of us now. And we're going to put our hands on top of it. Rest your forehead in between your arms. Point your toes. Now that those hip flexors are nice and opened up, maybe you can stretch those legs a little longer. Push down on the ball to lift yourself up. So I didn't lift my chin, I just lifted my whole upper body. I'm going to lift my kneecaps and my belly button, and then I'm going to roll the ball back towards me, not necessarily coming up higher like that, but squeeze in between the shoulder blades to get more arch in the upper back if possible. And then exhale, roll down, inhale, exhale, press, inhale, squeeze, and come back. We come back down, press on the ball, squeeze it back. And again, same thing, keep it going. So nice upper back movement here. Two more, press down, squeeze back. Last time, push down, press and squeeze and hold. All right, go ahead, roll over onto your side facing me, and you're going to prop yourself up on your elbow. We'll be doing that side plank, so if you like to have that extra cushioning, please feel free to do so. Put that elbow underneath the shoulder, push the shoulder back, lift up out of it, choose your favorite side plank position, and then take the ball where it barely touches you. I want you to rest on it for a second. Then notice if your body's askew, open up, try and get yourself in a straight line, and then come up. We're going to tap and lift, tap and lift. You are welcome to keep doing that, or take a break and come back to it. Or if you want to do the balance with me, that bottom leg goes on first, ankle on, and then the top leg, the foot goes on. And you straighten those legs. And bring it down. Other side, please. So again, give yourself a little extra cushioning if you'd like that. Push the shoulder back, lift up out of it, engage the lats, come up in your plank, put the ball there, straighten it up, straighten your whole body, squeeze and lift. Bring it down, or keep going. If you're going to do the balance with me, bottom leg goes on first, and the top leg follows. And gently down. All you're going to do is roll over. So that ball is now under both ankles or both feet. Elbows underneath you. Balance for forward plank. Option to look down and roll forward, and then slide back into your plank. So you pike it up, and you slide back into your plank. Pike it up, slide back into your plank. Give me 4 more of those if that's what you're doing, please. And then mosey on back through center. All right. We're going to sit on that ball with our left glute, left leg in front, and right leg off to the side. So this is sitting in a mermaid, but because we have that side lifted, our hips should be more even than if we were sitting without the ball, and we'd be a little rounded. So get as tall as you can, arms out into a T, and then let's bring them into a V and try to, actually, you know what, we're going to go for the biggest challenge first, hands together. They squeeze your little ears, and then you're going to tip over to the left. Hold for a moment, and then come back up. So we reach as we tip, and we come back up. Good. Gently bring that up. All you're going to do is switch your legs and the ball. So the ball comes underneath your right glute, right leg comes in front, left leg to the side, grow tall, arms out and together. And then we tip the other way. Back up. You're going to roll all the way over onto your spine, please. We'll take that ball behind the right knee. We're going to give it a nice hug, using my hands on the shin to compress the ball between the hamstring and the calf muscle. Left leg, I've just got it tucked and over to the left. I'm going to rotate that right knee a little bit side to side as I cradle it. And then I'm going to straighten that left leg, hug that right knee, right arm to the side, and I'm going to bring that knee towards the left shoulder, but I'm going to stop, right? I want to keep my hip pretty close to the ground, so I actually get that hip stretch. Then I'm going to press it away so that my right foot goes on my left thigh. And then I'm gonna pull it back up and in again. If you want to still use your right hand for more traction, you're welcome to do that. Let it move away. But if you want your right arm open, that's fine too. Pull it in. And then this time from the pull in, we're gonna let that knee start rotating. If you want, you can go all the way over to the other side. Big twist. Come on back through center, use your left elbow to push yourself back. Roll that ball down to your ankle. Point your toes, lift it up, roll it up, flex the heel, bring it down. Give me some rotation in that ankle. Point flex. Bend that knee again, close the gap with the ball, and then bring the left leg behind it. So the ball's on my left thigh and my right, it's right behind my right knee, and I give it a big hug. You should really feel that in that right hip again. If you want to stick with the right hip stretch, do that. If you want the twist, let the knees drop over to the left. Come on back through center, uncross your right leg, right foot on the ground, left knee in, right leg opens up. I'm going to press, I'm going to pull that foot down, I'm going to rotate through that left leg. I'm kind of cradling it a little bit. And then I'm going to straighten the right leg. I'm going to bring that left knee across. I'm going to pull it in towards the chest and over to the right. Little big stretch on the outside of that hip. Then I'm going to let it loosen up a little bit. Left heel goes towards the right thigh, and then I'm going to pull it in again. Oy. I'm going to let it move away again. I'm going to pull it in. I'm going to be moving through that foot a little bit. One more move away and one more in. And again, if this is good, and you want to keep that left hip stretch, do that. If you want to take it into a twist, you can do that. Back through center. Point those toes, roll the ball up, point, flex, lift, flex, come down with it, and circle. Bend that knee again, hug it in, and then join it with that right one. Grab that right leg, move over to the right, and feel that big stretch, left hip, left hamstring. Stay there if you want, or twist to the right. When you're ready, make your way either over onto your side and then up onto all fours, or however you want to get here for a cat-cow. Hands out front, we'll undulate forward cow and roll back cat. Then we're going to tuck our toes, we're going to lift, and then we're going to press. Cut out those feet if that would feel good. Wide stance, wide yes and shake no. Bend your knees, roll cat. Roll cow, open it up. Big deep breath in. Thank y'all. Happy Chinese New Year. Lunar New Year.